Turning now to some disturbing new developments, a new ISIS video that shows the moments before a mass killing, but it is the voice in this video coming from that man that has U.S. intelligence officials scrambling right now. What could be an American voice? Listen.
And we're here with the soldiers of Bashar. You can see them now digging their own graves in the very place where they were stationed. They said that we abandoned the fronts and stopped fighting the kuffar to turn our guns towards the Muslims. They lied. Wallahi, we are the harshest towards the kuffar. And the flames of war are only beginning to intensify.
Again, another propaganda video from ISIS, and right now U.S. authorities are running vocal and facial recognition to try to identify this ISIS militant who appears to be in a significant position of power within the organization as their spokesperson. But as the world's eyes are fixed squarely on the threat of ISIS, U.S. officials say another band of extremists could pose a more direct, possibly an imminent threat to the U.S. We are getting word that U.S. counterterrorism agencies are now tracking multiple terror plots traced to al-Qaeda's Syrian affiliate. Among their goals, to use sophisticated bombs to attack U.S. planes. CNN's Brian Todd is joining me now on the phone. Brian, what are you learning now about this investigation into the man we just showed everybody on the video?
Well, Anna, we're told that U.S. intelligence officials are combing through the video very finely, trying to examine any clues they can about this man. They say that he could be an American because of the fact that he speaks almost perfect English, because of his accent. We were told yesterday they think he could be possibly North American, possibly Canadian or American. But it's the accent and the seamless English that he speaks which are, letting them kind of figure out that he could very well be an American. They're doing voice analysis, as you mentioned. They're doing all sorts of other, technological means to try to identify who he might be. And what is interesting in this is that if he is a North American, it could be the first time that a North American member of ISIS has actually possibly committed a war crime on camera, because of the fact that after that part that you just aired, he is seemingly, with about 4 or 5 other jihadists, seen shooting these several Syrians who we believe are soldiers dressed in civilian clothing, shooting them, and then they tumble into these graves that they've just dug for themselves. So if that's the case, he could be committing a war crime on camera, which means that U.S. officials are going to be even more keen to try to identify him and either capture or kill him.
It is sickening to hear about the killings in that video. And Brian, I wonder what it means given the fact that this person is seemingly a spokesperson in the video. Does that say that he might be high up or in a powerful position within ISIS?
U.S. officials believe that that is a possibility on it, that he could have a position of some responsibility within ISIS and may have worked his way up the ranks. Also, Westerners are very valuable to them for 2 reasons. When they put them in these videos, and when they speak and when they do these types of acts, they serve 2 purposes. Number one, they scare Western audiences, but they also serve as a recruiting tool for ISIS to try to recruit Western jihadists, who are very valuable to them in a number of ways. They have Western passports. Some of them may have combat training, things like that. So they really value Westerners, and that's another reason why this man could be in a position of some responsibility for them.
All right, Brian Todd, thanks for your report. Let's talk more about this. Joining me now, our military analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Rick Francona, and Michael Weiss, foreign policy columnist. Thanks to both of you. So, Colonel, let's start with you. Obviously, you see that video, and as an American, as a Westerner, it does raise kind of those hairs on the back of your neck to think that, one of us is there, and could they come back here? Is the U.S. able to really sophisticatedly track who he could be and who else could be there from America?
Well, they're trying, but this is a very difficult problem because, so many people travel, and most people are getting into Syria through Turkey. A lot of people travel to Turkey on legitimate business. So it's impossible to stop and track or look at every single person. So they have to come up with some sort of a profile where they figure who might likely be going over to join ISIS. This is a real big problem for law enforcement and the intelligence community. Law enforcement in the United States, the intelligence community once they're overseas. The problem will be is when they return. If they're not identified, they just walk off the airplane at JFK and walk back into society to do whatever they want to do.
So, Michael, what do you think, or have you learned, is being done to try to track Americans? We've heard now from multiple officials that there may be up to 100 Americans who've gone to fight for extremist groups in Syria.
Sure. I mean, look, I think Western intelligence agencies are all coordinating in this effort, right? And the Brits especially and the French, who have many more foreign fighters who have gone off to join ISIS. The problem is, of the number of Americans that are said to have joined this contingent of foreign fighters, not all of them go and join ISIS. Some of them join other rebel groups in Syria, from the mainstream to the other jihadi formations, such as Jabhat al-Nusra, which is the official al-Qaeda affiliate, which has indeed made these terrorist threats against the United States. It's incredibly difficult to determine when somebody leaves America's soil and then winds up in Turkey and then crosses that border. What group, what faction have they joined arms with? We don't know. There's another component to this, which is a lot of the guys in ISIS high command were former detainees of American soldiers in Iraq. I spoke to an active duty colonel yesterday who said a lot of these guys were in Camp Bucca. So there's a process now underway where the U.S. military is trying to figure out who used to be an American prisoner of war who is now in sort of the ISIS upper echelons.
And Colonel, if indeed this man is an American citizen, does the U.S. have legal authority to maybe go after him there with like a drone attack or an airstrike of some sort? Remember, Anwar al-Awlaki, he was an American working with al-Qaeda, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding the U.S. targeting him.
And there will be controversy again because it's not quite clear what the legal things are. I mean, he's broken the law already by merely going over there to join that group, or even intending to join that group. He's broken the law. If he's involved in this war crime over there, he's gone one step further. So at some point, a determination will have to be made. Is he an enemy combatant? Is he an illegal combatant? What will his status be? But once the bombing starts, I mean, he's at risk, of course.
All right, guys, stick around. Thanks so much. ISIS, of course, grabbing the headlines now, but make no mistake, al-Qaeda is still out there.